Welcome to Burning Hammer Wrestling.
Oh yeah,
We got some adjustments to the set. We got a new camera.
Yep. Hopefully it looks good.
Yeah, we hope
We
it
think
does.
it does.
We think it does
looks
from
great.
our end, but it's
Who knows?
it's hard to tell, I guess.
We'll see. We'll find out once we put it up on YouTube. And
Yeah.
stuff.
So first of all, we're gonna shout out to our friends over at Dubby.
Oh yeah.
Go to dubby.gg and use the promo code ClearShots. It's all one word, 10% off. And there you go. Do that.
Just like that.
It's good stuff. We like it.
It is. Yeah, it's really
I
good.
just ordered more. 2 more.
Nice.
I got the peach one that you got.
It's good, man. Really
and
good.
something else. Something that was some purple one. I don't know. So let's start off with the our Showdown Swap picks.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I just watched this one today. I kind of saved it for the last minute.
If you're cool with it, I can go first because the match you gave me was much less to talk about.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
And we'll probably talk about yours for a while.
I tried to like slim it down as much as I could.
Yeah, it was a doozy.
Because the video I watched was an hour, so it's like
yeah,
there's a lot.
So the one you gave me was Vampiro versus Pentagon in Lucha.
This is Ultima Lucha 2, second one.
Okay.
So it's like their big show at the end of the season.
Gotcha. They had, so you had sent me a promo set up for it first, how Pentagon had been like kind of egging at him and stuff.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, and again, I've said it on air a few times, I'm not super familiar with Lucha and like the story of it, you know what I mean? But it seemed like what was going on was Pentagon had been like answering to a master and no one knew who it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like egging on Vampiro for a fight.
Yeah.
So then he decides to fight him.
And Vampiro's just a commentator.
Yeah, he's just a commentator. And he's really good on commentary. Yeah. I actually like his commentary from the limited amount of stuff I've seen now. This match was fucking crazy, dude. I was very surprised.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So Vampiro worked a lot of his career in places that I didn't have regular access to growing up. So the only real work of his I have any familiarity with is WCW, when he was in WCW towards the tail end of it.
That's probably where a lot of people have that, you know.
I don't remember anything about him other than I thought he looked cool, especially as a kid. I thought the gimmick was cool. Yeah. But I don't remember anything from his matches that made me be like, oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. Yeah. This match was awesome. Yeah. It wasn't super long, but it wasn't super short either. He came out in this wicked cool gear, all like poped out. Like, it was sick. It was very cool. I am familiar with Pentagon, not because of Lucha, but because of like AEW and stuff. Yeah, and he's amazing. He's not working there now, apparently. He's really? Like just within the past week or so, it was announced, I think, that his contract's up. So we'll see what he ends up doing. But that dude is amazing. Yeah.
He's had a long career too.
He's been around, yeah. The big things I have noted for this match are that I thought it was funny that the second the match starts, Pentagon gets the better of Vampiro and he just whips his ass. And he's like, they go out into the crowd. He pulls the mat up and he hits him with, he didn't suplex him. He did like some kind of body slam or something to him. But either way, he slams Vampiro onto concrete. Yeah. Which is sketchy because right before that, Stryker on commentary is like, Vampiro and has just like a fused neck. He's got all kinds of problems. Yeah. And then it's like, and he's slamming him on concrete. He takes a bunch of really really laid in chair shots.
Yeah, they started off strong and it was a hardcore match. It was a hardcore match.
It was very clearly a hardcore match, and I thought that was the right move, honestly, because it's funny to think about it because you would think it would be more brutal, but it actually kind of protected Vampiro a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he had to take some sketchy bumps, no doubt about it. But it's a lot easier for him to protect us. Like, there's no excuse for the concrete bump.
There's not much you can do.
There's
to protect
no excuse for
there,
that. But, like, early in, they get in the ring, and Pentagon pulls out light tubes.
Yeah.
And he smashes a light tube over him, and then he uses the smashed light tube to, like, cut his head. That was gnarly. Like, all that stuff was sick.
That's the main thing I remember from that match is just
the light tube stuff
being everywhere.
Oh, man, it gets so bad. But that I liked that more than if Vampiro tried to have some kind of, like, competitive match with him. It's like, we know at that point he ain't doing that, and that there's nothing wrong with that. So this was like the best match you could have given Vampiro to make him look awesome.
Yeah, it was never what it was supposed to be about. Like, it was gonna be a beatdown.
It was supposed to be a fucking war. Yeah, and it was. I loved it, man. I was very glad you had me watch that one. I loved the ending. I loved how Vampiro comes back. He starts using light tubes on fucking Pentagon, and he fucks his head up, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He hit at the end. Pentagon's mask is all torn
blood
up.
And
you
mask,
can basically see his whole face, but not really. Like, he didn't get unmasked.
Well, you can't because
the
there's
mask
blood
is
everywhere.
just torn, and he's absolutely soaked in blood. But the biggest thing about the match that stuck out to me that I really loved was, of course, the storytelling, though.
Yeah.
The fact that at the end of the match, Vampiro tells him to break his arm. And it's a work, but he does, like, a really cool move.
It's like an arm bar.
Yeah, very cool. He does, like, a twist to, like, trap his other arm in his legs, and then he, like, wishbones his arm.
He was doing that to people, like, throughout
I figured
that season.
I figured. Not having seen it, the setup for it made me go, okay, yep. But then the fact that they had such a big storyline swerve mixed in with Vampiro revealing at the end that he was the master all along.
Yeah.
And he calls him his son or whatever, and Pentagon is on his hands and he's like, dude, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was very cool.
Sick.
All in all, I thought it was great. Everything you've had me watch so far from Lucha makes me like, man, I can't wait to. I just have to figure out chunking out enough time in my day to, like, over a period of time to be able to watch all of it. Because it's not like there's a ton.
It's not easy to access either. Like, you can.
I know.
It's on some weird illegal
Everything
website
you sent me's been
shit.
YouTube stuff, you know? It just happens to be available on YouTube, and that's how I get to see it.
Yeah. If they had the full episodes available, then that would be the move. Like, you would start watching, like, even if you watched, like, the first 2 episodes, you'd be like, I gotta keep watching.
Yeah.
Like a binge
Everybody
watch
tells me that.
show.
Must watch. And it was, like, revolutionary. And it's obvious.
It'll hook you because it's cinematic enough to do that.
And from what I've seen just so far, I'm already hooked and, like, I gotta get this. I gotta figure out how to watch it all. You know.
Well, they had, like, a lot of like unique ideas, like the Gift of the Gods Championship, and there was some cool shit that was like.
I'm just such a big fan of the cinematic aspect. I think it's so underutilized.
Yeah,
the way they did it until recently in WWE.
It seems to be picking up nowadays. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But I loved it. That's all I had. I thought it was great, and those were the things that stuck out.
Yeah.
Now the match I gave you, candidly, when we give each other matches, we tend to watch both so that we can discuss. The one I gave you, I did not watch again. Well, I will be
I didn't rewatch the Vampiro one. The one I did watch it was when I was adding it to the list.
Okay. So you have seen it recently, though.
Yeah, like it was a couple months ago.
This one I haven't seen until, like, I haven't seen since it happened, and I watched it and it just blew me away.
This was when? 2016?
Something like that, yeah. So I'm not going to be able to sit here and be like, oh, here's, like, you remember this?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
I'm in for the ride, so have at it.
I liked it a lot. I mean, so it's Okada versus Omega, Wrestle Kingdom 11. And
so good, dude.
The first thing, like, right off the bat, like, it's showing me all the promos, like the lead up and shit. And that's so cool the way, like, Japanese wrestling does this really well. I love the way they do that. And it was cool because, you know, you have like the language, you got like Japanese promo, then like American style promo.
Yeah.
And I think the presentation of the whole thing is just so cool. I love like the way Japanese wrestling is.
New Japan specifically has that so down.
It's so like anime style. You know what I mean? Like there's something to it.
Yeah.
There's some like a very specific characterization that it has.
Mm-hmm.
And they glorify him as like warriors.
Yeah. Yeah. The respect situation is such a different level there culturally in a really cool way.
Yeah, Kenny Omega comes out. He does like the Terminator thing in his entrance. That was fucking sweet.
His gimmick was the cleaner, which was kind of like a Terminator thing.
Yeah, he has like there's like a little promo type thing before.
Yep.
That was pretty sick.
And dude, the arena they're in.
Yeah,
and the crowd and shit. Like it reminds me when I watch New Japan. It's like what made Pride Fighting Championship so much better than UFC. Like UFC still to me, and we're not going to go into this. But I think Pride is the peak ever of MMA for me. And it's because of that.
Atmosphere.
Like, when you can do an event in front of 30,000 people instead of the same frickin' setup, always forever, that UFC's only ever used. It's like, why don't they do these 30,000 seat super arenas and do the spectacle? Treat it like it's a spectacle.
Yeah.
New Japan has that same energy that they had in Pride when you watch it. The way the entrances
are very big. Yeah.
Big, grand entrances, huge crowds.
Which isn't far from WWE, but it's not.
No.
It's more.
They just do it in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is more grand, I guess. I don't know, dude. The pace of this match was great. Like there was a lot of rest holds, but like they didn't hold them too long for how long this match was. And there was honestly no point in this match where like I felt like they had botched anything.
No,
everything was so smooth, perfectly well done. Like it was like they had practiced this entire match like 17 times before.
Which I doubt.
Yeah, of course they did.
I doubt it.
But that's how it felt because it was just everything was nailed and looked so good because these guys are just good. They're actually that good. So yeah, the pacing I loved. I thought it was really good, like technically, like they just were executing well.
Yeah.
There was high spots, there's technical spots, there's, like I said, there's rest holds, and it like blends. It never slows down to where you're like not paying attention or zoning out.
You don't have a chance
because there's a high spot. Like there will be a high spot, like as soon as you stop paying attention. There was a drop kick to the back of the head off the top rope that Omega did that looked fucking awesome. There was Okada's laying on the ground on the outside of the ring, and he's got a table on him.
Mm-hmm.
And Omega jumps off the apron, I think, and does a double stomp onto the table. That was pretty sick. I liked that. There's a couple other spots that I really. What was it? There's one move that Okada did, and I don't know if it's like one of his signature moves, but he has him up on his shoulders and he has his legs here, and then he tucks the neck this way and brings him down onto like a neck breaker. So it's almost like he's I've seen something similar to it. It's hard to explain the way that he does it, but it was really fucking cool. I loved that. I don't know if that's one of his moves or not, because I haven't seen enough of his matches. Then there was like a springboard moonsault that Omega did it off of he went over the barricade. He springboards onto the top rope and then jumps over the barricade. He moonsaults over the barricade.
Oh, that's
it's fucking pretty sick.
Crazy.
Too. The whole match, like I said, you couldn't really look away from this match.
No. The things I remember of it is exactly in line with what you're saying. Yeah. Like if it got to a point where if it went for a second longer, you were going to start to fade, they felt it somehow and change up perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just unbelievable timing.
There was like it was kind of like an exploder. It was like a belly to back suplex from the top rope, but it was like a full rotation, like a superplex thing. It was
what,
fucking.
You mean like full over?
Yeah, and he
like a full
dude, it was
belly to belly
fucking,
suplex overhead.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
it
dude.
was badass, dude. Yeah, it was a good match, dude. And it really, at that point, I was like, I feel like this does not matter who wins this match.
No, God, no.
This is just, were locked in for this.
And they had more. They had a run of matches.
Well, you have to at that point.
And they were all that level.
Well, how can you see that match and go like, we can't put those guys together ever again?
Right. Exactly, yeah. They did that and you were like, oh, okay, these are the two absolute best guys in this entire company. Mm-hmm. And that's why I gave it to you, is because as of right now,
I'm not super familiar with like New Japan.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Neither am I. Yeah. I only know a certain specific little era of it that was like AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And then when he left, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, were the Bullet Club.
I know, like guys from it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We know a lot of guys from it. Nakamura and AJ Styles had incredible matches before they both ended up here. They have a ton of history from there, which I think is like painfully underutilized by WWE in all seriousness. Mm-hmm. They used it one time to feud those guys over the world title, and it never panned out. Never went the way that people thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great.
I would love to see, before AJ retires, one more match of AJ versus Nakamura. I hope they do that, just to do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder when AJ is going to come back.
I know, he just got cleared to wrestle and then got hurt immediately again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some crazy shit to talk about this week too.
There really is. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. The reason I pitched it to you is because I knew it was long, and I know that that's a lot to ask. I get that. Mm-hmm. But it's one of the matches I point to that's like, if you're watching AEW now, Okada's there. Omega is on his way back. Yeah. Thank fuck. The dude he's one of the best ever. I think he's one of my favorite wrestlers to watch ever, because he can do the very acrobatic and like more.
Oh, he's so well rounded.
Ricochet era, Will Ospreay era style stuff. Mm-hmm. The difference is he's a god of everything else in wrestling: promos, storytelling in the ring, character work, technical wrestling. Yeah. Traditional, all the different eras. Like, he can do everything at the highest level. He's one of the best ever. Yeah, he is. And if you're seeing him now in AEW, or even a couple years ago, when like he's had great matches in AEW. I don't know if I've seen him have anything in AEW that holds up to the level of that run he had with Okada. Yeah. Like, that might be his absolute peak. Was New Japan.
Well, it's because Okada's great too. So,
but that's the thing. Yeah, we haven't gotten to see Kenny versus Okada in AEW. That's the one thing that absolutely must take place. Yeah, you know, and it should supersede whatever. They don't give a fuck about storylines anyways. Long term, no, not a knock on them. They don't. So why would you? That's like Tony's. Seems like the kind of guy who that's always trying to do.
I think that would help them a lot. You know? Is just having a guy who's in. Like a guy who can be creative. If they want to do
the sports-based, less story, more about just making dream matches and stuff type of thing.
That's what they want.
Then that's what you do. That's what you do. You go, okay, Okada's with these guys. He's doing whatever. Yeah, cool. Hey, Kenny's back. And Kenny comes out and goes, hey, Kazuchika Okada, let's do this. Yeah. I want you. But you're with those guys? Don't care. You and me. Unfinished business. We're doing this now. Right. That's all you got to do, and it'll just it'll sell itself.
They don't have to tell a story if they don't want to.
Nope.
But
nope. And that's fine. Whatever.
Right. Because I'd still watch it.
The story is already there because of the history. Yeah. So the story's already there. You don't need to. You don't need to have them. You don't need to have 50 run-ins. You don't have to have the Young Bucks around the ring and stuff. You don't have to do any of that. Let those two guys go into the ring and wrestle. Yeah. And they're going to outperform whatever you thought you had, you know? Yeah. And so that's why I wanted you to watch it, because those two guys are just They're really special, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Really
even with
special.
Even the length of it and shit. It's like it had a right to be that long.
It did. It did. Absolutely.
So we've gone through War Games already.
We did, right?
We went through War Games and haven't talked about it yet, but there was a decent amount of shit that went down.
Yeah, for sure.
The Raw after that was really good.
That's the big one.
Yeah,
that's where the talking
was. Raw this past Raw was one of the better Raws I've seen in like the last year.
Yeah,
it was actually that good.
Unbelievable Raw. Unbelievable.
So let's start with Survivor Series though.
Sure.
Yep. There was so obviously there was the women's War Games match.
Yep. Started real slow.
It was weird. Like,
yeah.
And it also, I thought that like it seemed like they were all looking for something under the ring and they couldn't find it.
A lot of people online are hating on Nia Jax because they're saying that they feel like she fucked up the flow of the match and stuff. I don't know. I'm on the fence with that idea.
Well,
I
there
think
was
that
some
she
points
definitely did things that were weird.
Yeah.
But at other times, she looked phenomenal. So it's hard.
I
think that there was like confusion on what to do.
She was like, well, I think there was definitely confusion in that match. Like I said, everyone that came out looks under the ring and they're like looking for something. Yeah. And they couldn't find it and they were like running around.
That was weird.
I think they missed a spot somewhere because they couldn't find something, like some kind of object.
I think so. And they were trying to make up for it and it led to just weirdness with a bunch of people trying to hit people with chairs.
Things. Yeah.
And the chair shots looked like trash.
Yeah. Yep. It was hilarious though.
There was one though. There was one I wanted to point out that I think was an attempt at something cool, or at least the way I saw it, it came off like it was an attempt to do something funny.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. Yeah. And it's where she went to hit somebody with a chair and they were like, no. And then she hits him in the side instead.
Yeah.
And to me, I read it like she was purposely trying to fake them out and then hit them where they weren't blocking. But it was so awkward that it just
not allowed to do chair shots.
Yeah, it also came off like, no, you can't. And she went,
like,
whoops.
Oh, God. Whoops.
Yeah.
Don't want to get fined or whatever.
I totally get.
Yeah.
The hate on Nia for that match. I totally get it.
I've had my criticisms
think it's justified
of Nia, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think, though, with that match, once it got to the point where everybody was in except for Liv, that's when that match really started to amp up. And that once everyone was in, it was nasty.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about it is that it doesn't start until everybody's in.
It's weird. Like, everyone beats up on each other and does stuff until they all get in.
Yeah, I forgot about that until, like, I forgot about it until everybody came in and then they were rang the bell. I was like, wait a minute, what?
And I think that, I don't know if it would hurt that match type to not do that and have them start 5-on-5, 5 guys in one ring, 5 in the other, facing off with each other.
Yeah.
Start the match and they just go car crash.
Well, you know? They like the advantage thing. Then they can have like an advantage match.
And they tell story in the match by having it. I get that.
Yeah.
But
especially with the Bloodline one, they were able to
that was different level. They did a lot of work with that. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
With the women's one, it definitely felt like the match was rough until it got to that later stage.
It felt inconsequential to me. Like it didn't feel like the result mattered.
Not really,
you know. Yeah. But Io Sky, you were talking about Io.
Yep, shocker. She had a wicked crazy spot.
I mean, yeah, that is crazy.
Year she did a moonsault with the
trash
can on.
How do you do that with no? So like when you moonsault, you want to like throw your arms.
Dude, no idea how she did that. Crazy, and from that height, crazy.
Yeah, that's hard.
Blind
and just not seeing.
They had in the post press conference, post event conference, they asked her about it, and she was like, "I trust the trash can." That's what she said. I just trust the trash can and go. What?
Because I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
No one caught
she throws it up over her shoulder and climbs to the cage, and I'm like, "What is she trying to do,
dude?" And it's like last year she had a crazy trash can spot, but it was like a big splash off the top.
But you just don't know what the fuck she's thinking.
Yep. I knew she wasn't going to just do the splash again. She was going to do something else, you know?
I think it would be cool to like, well, you'd have to land right, but you could almost have it where you can put the trash can in front of you and drop kick it.
We'll see, dude. We'll see what she does next.
But I don't know. There's a lot of cool things. They like do a good job. There's like a platform in each corner, so they know there was a lot of good spots from the top in these.
There
matches.
Was a lot of sketchy spots from the top, especially in the men's. But yeah, at the same time, Tiffy does a fucking swanton off the top. She's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was good. She's really fucking good.
Yeah, she's very good. Her cash in was one of the big moments. Like she didn't cash in, but that tease was amazing. How she pulls it out of the trash can. Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was the good stuff. And like Rhea Ripley with her mask when she takes the mask off to fight Liv, like that was cool. The fuckery they did where she was gonna cash in and then. EO has a fucking fire extinguisher and just smokes everybody. And in the confusion of that, Rhea swaps handcuffs on fucking on Raquel and gets Raquel handcuffed.
I think it would have been.
I thought it was sick, man.
Yeah, I thought it was decent.
By the time it ended, we were grabbed.
Yes,
it was.
But I thought there was a
lead
lot
up
of,
was trash.
Yeah, it was like you said. It started slow.
Yep.
But I think maybe a cash-in would have been a good move because of the fact that there wasn't a lot of implications at the end of the match. Like it didn't mean anything.
It would have been better, I think, and I agree with you, if she cashed in on Nia.
Yeah.
Pinned Nia.
In that match.
Yeah. To win the match for her team.
Yeah.
Because it's a one pinfall.
Yeah.
But takes Nia's belt.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been the move. You know,
but I don't know what they have planned for her cash-in.
We'll see. Yeah,
it could be better than that.
Could be.
We'll talk about that when it happens, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Be the judge of that. Then we had Nakamura in LA Knight.
Oh yeah, that was probably the match of the night.
I thought so. Yeah. I thought it was, and it was kind of people were like super surprised that Nakamura took the title. I wasn't.
Me neither. I thought he needed it.
I thought that was a good idea.
It was perfect.
Yeah, because now you still have the feud. The belt is involved still, but it doesn't have to be on one guy the whole time.
No,
this is a thing that like needs to be more.
And it was an earned win. Like they had such a disgusting match.
Yeah.
At one point, LA Knight, of course, he did what appeared to be some type of really aggressive burning hammer.
Yeah.
And that was sick.
LA, he was a little bit sloppy, and I think that the commentary team did a good job with this. And they were like, well, Nakamura's been playing mind games with him. He's like in his head.
Yep.
LA Knight's like worried about, he's not quite totally on his feet about this.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job with that because Knight, there was a couple miscues. And they were able to play that up as the character.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought that worked well. But the match overall still was good.
Yeah. The finish was great.
And it leads into that story where you're like, okay, Shinsuke beat him. Maybe it was the mind games.
He got in his head and he beat him. Yeah. He pulled it off. And it was a perfect like coming out party, so to speak. For Nakamura's new fully transitioned character as a heel. New gimmick. New play on his entrance. His gear was sick.
I think his theme music is good, but I wish that they would play his the main melody more.
Okay.
They took away that main melody.
I feel like I heard it.
You can hear it, but it's like every 8 bars or something.
Okay.
Instead of playing it, repeatedly. Because the old theme
was
the crowd could sing along to it.
Yeah.
This one's not that way.
But that might be the intent.
Maybe
Tease that it's a variation of it, but you don't want the crowd to sing along with him because he's supposed to be a feared heel.
Yeah. You can faintly still hear the melody. It plays like half of that melody.
Yeah.
And then it kind of ends that sequence with it.
Dude, he needed this bad. Bad.
Yeah.
The whole thing. The win, the character change.
Yeah.
He's been riding the basically same theme and same move for a while. And he teased a heel turn.
And it's not going anywhere. People are not convinced, like you need to change. You need a refresh with him.
Yes. Yeah, that's everybody felt it, and it felt right, and this was the perfect way to do it, I thought. Loved that. Loved that match.
And to put him in the title picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of it is well done.
Good luck with that guy, man.
Mm-hmm. And you elevate LA Knight.
Yep.
I mean, it really is like a win-win for both of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was great. So then there's the Bloodline War Games match.
Was that it?
I don't know. I think that was pretty much it, unless there was another match.
There's one more.
What was the other match? I didn't take notes for it, but I think there was another match.
What was the other match? That's gonna bother me.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, definitely.
If there was, I can't even remember what it was. And we're gonna feel stupid if we.
Yeah, we're gonna feel stupid. Oh, I know what it was. I got it.
Okay.
Gunther versus Damian Priest for the world title.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah. I thought it was good, but I thought
it was really good too. I thought that Priest.
Oh, there's another one too. Actually,
I thought Priest did a really good job in that match, and I liked how they had Finn get involved and screw over Priest.
Yeah,
builds to them more, but it also pissed off Gunther because Gunther was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah,
I didn't want you here fucking with me. It's me and him only.
Yeah, they're
and
also
that
just
led into Raw.
Carrying on with his internal conflict.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I like that.
I do too. The other match
was Sheamus,
and, Bron Breakker, and Kaiser. Yeah. Dude, that match was also
good
amazing.
Too, yeah.
And Bron Breakker coming out on top, right call also.
Yeah. I just didn't have
to see Sheamus.
Yeah.
It would have been cool. Like I get that.
Yeah, I just thought they were good matches. I didn't have
I didn't care who won.
I didn't feel like there was huge talking points on these matches, you know.
They were just good matches.
Yeah, and they didn't
They
feel
were
like
logical. They have been building to these matches.
They just didn't feel like they advanced anything in a significant enough way.
Only the Bloodline one did, really.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, and then there was that. So
yeah, that's the big one.
There was a lot to this.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I don't even know if I could break all of it down. But
no, and I don't know that we even need to.
No, I don't think you really do. But I think the main part was there's, obviously between Reigns and CM Punk, there's that thing. There's so many different things.
So much going on.
Because there's there's Sami Zayn. And then you got the thing with Rollins, him and Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different angles that all this is going. The only thing that's not the OG Bloodline is the one that's going all the different ways. The new one is kind of just the new one, and they're just staying where they are.
They're together. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
Bringing in Bronson Reed I thought was cool.
I thought it was too. Yeah.
And there were times in the match where I was seeing Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu together. And I was like, good God, dude. If these guys ever face each other, it's going to be crazy. And if they ever tag team together, it's going to be really crazy.
Yeah. I thought that the promo that Reigns and Punk did with Paul Heyman was really good.
Oh, phenomenal. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing where
tons of story,
dude.
Like,
this is Lucha Underground.
Yeah, but that's exactly.
It was very similar to that.
Yeah, that's it. That was perfect.
But that whole thing is really cool. I'm interested to see the way that and now I'm interested to see what Paul Heyman's part in that with CM Punk is what Punk is going to want.
What is the favor?
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be sick, man.
It was a good match. There was some good spots in this match too. So,
it would be wicked crazy.
I liked War Games overall, but it wasn't.
Me too. Liked it overall. Yeah. I don't think it was the most impactful pay-per-view.
It wasn't consequential,
but the matches were good.
Yeah,
and it was it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
I think the best match of the night was probably LA Knight Nakamura. If it wasn't that, it was probably the men's War Games.
I would think it is the Nakamura match, just with the title change. It was I don't know. I felt like there was more that can lead. It can lead to a lot more. In that storyline.
Yep. I feel like overall, Raw after War Games was way bigger deal.
Yeah, I thought it was
way bigger deal. Raw was crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, it was a real good episode.
So that started.
This is what I like is when they make Raw is just when you can take the fallout from that pay-per-view even if the pay-per-view isn't like, they don't have to tell you the story in the pay-per-view. They can just take the Raw right after that.
Yep.
And tell you, here's what's happening. Like, here's why we did this, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. The opening was like 15 minutes with no commercials of just Punk comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Points to nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you guys can't see it? I've been seeing it my entire career.
Yep.
You just don't have the vision.
That was interesting.
His promo was nasty.
That might be the favor that he tries to get.
Yes, I think so.
Is a WrestleMania main event.
And that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is he going to pull strings with Paul to get a WrestleMania main event?
Mm-hmm.
And who's it going to be against? Because you know who would be wicked crazy to have it be against? The Rock. Because he literally blames The Rock in real life for him not getting his Mania main event. Because Rock came in and went, me and Cena, though.
Yeah, he does do that. That's right.
Yeah. So how insane would it be for him to go, I want Rock. That's the favor. I want Rock in main event of night one or something.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
It depends on how far Rock wants to go. Like, because he has to fill out this Cody Rhodes line still.
Yes. I think we're going to see Cody and Rock.
And we're coming up on the season here. Yeah. So we're going to see The Rock come back if that's the case.
Rumble is January, right?
That would be a good time to do it, yeah.
So we're about to find out what we think we are. We think we're about to find out. I guess we'll see for sure.
And then Ricky is going to come back probably.
Ricky? Ricky Starks?
No, Ricky, Kevin Owens' tag team partner.
Yeah.
He's going to come back too.
Ricky Starks might come out at the Rumble though. That'd be off the charts.
That's possible too.
Yeah. Who I saw somebody else recently that was like, oh, this would be insane Rumble come out.
What about what's Joe Hendry's contract?
Hendry, bro.
Yeah, what is his contract?
Hendry's coming out in the Rumble. Let's be real.
That's what I was thinking.
Hendry's going to get the biggest pop at the Rumble. He's not going to win, but he'll get the biggest pop at the Rumble, probably.
I don't know what his contract looks like, though.
I don't know, but I know that I recently looked at the roster on the NXT page, and Jordan Grace is listed on the NXT roster. And I was like, what? When did this happen? Is she not at TNA anymore?
That's interesting.
She's incredible.
Mm-hmm. She could be a big
star, dude.
I wonder when Charlotte Flair's coming back. Too.
Oh man, I hope at the Rumble. I hope she's good, like health wise. I know she's been rehabbing a knee for a long time, but
because you got people that are still on deck, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte.
Yep.
I don't know.
Charlotte's a big one, man. She's just so good. Becky too. Yeah.
They're all still really kind of like in the picture that possibly.
Yeah, they're home, but there's no reason they couldn't come back.
That's why the Rumble's great, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
It's speculation.
But then Seth Rollins comes out and interrupts Punk, and they get into a fit. So they did a really good job of how they made that look like it was legit, you know?
Yeah.
And then Jay and
Punk basically slinks his way out and disappears, and it becomes Rollins and
Zayn. Yeah, and they have a crazy good promo segment.
Yeah, that was great.
And then what was after that? Judgment Day stuff, right?
Most likely, yeah.
Gunther. It was like Gunther bumps into Finn, and Finn talks they talk shit, and then Gunther's talks shit to fucking Dom, and then he's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, yeah.
And
Dom,
then Bro, Dom coming out. Dom when he comes out to enter, which this is skipping ahead, but Dom when he comes out and he's standing in the ring and he's flexing and sticking his tongue out and shit, dude. We were geeking at that.
Dude, he is so good.
He's so good, bro. He's so good. So good. But yeah, then they did a triple threat match with the women, right?
Yes.
Because of the Intercontinental title. It's the Intercontinental, right? U.S. titles on SmackDown, Intercontinental on Raw. 100%. Yep. Yeah. And so they had that match, and it was... Who won that? Candace? No, it wasn't. Oh, no.
Because there was Candace, and then there was...
Dakota Kai won.
Yeah, Dakota Kai, and then what the hell's her name there? That one that barely appears.
Shayna
ever.
Baszler.
No,
right?
No, it was something Chance, right?
Dude, I don't know.
She's like on the roster, but she's like not ever there. I can't remember what her name is.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
Something Chance.
And that match was wicked good. It was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
And I thought Dakota winning was a good move.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
I thought that was the only move, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. The tournament's going to be interesting.
Tournament's going to be cool.
I think it would be really cool to see Chelsea Green win that.
Oh, dude, how weird would that be?
I think that'd be a cool way to go.
It'd be awesome. It'd be unexpected, you know? I think she'd do really well with it.
Yeah, I think she's getting a lot better.
She's underappreciated.
Yeah.
Her character work isn't, but her ability to actually wrestle is.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Well, yeah, because just like the other one there that's with Otis and
yeah. Oh yeah, Maxine.
Yeah,
Dupree,
she's good too, and it's like
and she's
you don't
getting
get to see
way
a lot of
better
her
every week in the ring.
and you don't get to see a lot of her in the ring. It's what it is. A lot of it's fucking backstage promos and goofy shit.
And she's great, man. I really like Maxine.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing by far of Raw was the New Day. Mm-hmm. That was unfucking believable.
Yeah, it was a total swerve too because
unbelievable.
They're teasing Xavier and Kofi breaking up.
This is
you knew Big E was coming back,
which I thought was awesome. Super emotional.
Yeah,
he got a huge reaction. Everybody's talking.
Yeah,
and promo work in this was like 9 million out of 10. Like it was some of the best stuff I've ever seen from the New Day.
Yeah.
So good, dude. So good.
And it didn't feel like the New Day.
And the prior to this, like prior to War Games, the confrontation that they did, like the wicked cool thing where they followed Kofi and Xavier into the back and they went in the back and immediately got in each other's face and started fighting.
Yeah.
That was
and they got like super personal.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah, it was good.
But this was just genius.
It was because then you can play into the whole thing about Big E getting injured and being gone.
And everybody thought going in, and they had us all.
Yeah.
That Xavier Woods was about to turn heel and fuck over the New Day, and it was going to split everybody.
Yeah.
So the fact that
Big E might not even be cleared. Right?
Yeah.
Most likely he's still not.
Which bums me out, but
you get this story.
At least he has a great quality of life, and he still works for him.
Yeah.
He still gets to be around.
They're like, Stone Cold broke his neck and he came back. You know what I mean?
And they didn't even dude, they mentioned Edge.
Yeah.
And he was like, and they didn't even have anybody to come back to. You had us. You abandoned us. Dude, it was just so good. And ending it with Kofi and Xavier turning their back on him and Big E's crying, saying, so this is it, huh? This is how it's going. Cool. And he just has to walk away crying. And Kofi and Xavier turn to each other and hard cam zooms in and just gets that perfect shot of those two.
Yeah, it was
and
really
they
good.
just high five each other and they're like, it's just us now.
Yeah. Especially with the way they've been teasing the
mega heel turn, dude.
Yeah.
Mega heel turn. They are going to be different level with this. Like you can tell already.
And it's like,
it's going to be a switch just went off with those guys.
I think it's going to be
different level.
Because Kofi knows he doesn't have a lot of time left. He's been around. He's already considered retirement and all that.
He has. Yeah.
So it's like, he's going to want to go all in on this.
This is going to be one more big one for Kofi, I'm sure.
And they've been around for 10 years is crazy. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Dude, people didn't like the New Day.
Legit one of the greatest factions of all time. I don't know how you debate it.
They almost didn't happen, though. Like
they almost didn't happen.
When they debuted, everybody was like, this is so stupid. Like, this has got to be the corniest shit I've ever seen.
And they took over, and they made it God tier.
It was like almost Viking experience level.
It started off like super
abysmal.
Lame and out of touch. Yeah. And then when it wasn't working, and I saw a thing online WWE posted on their YouTube about the New Day, where Triple H at headquarters was talking with him, and he was saying how, he's like, it was crazy to see it from my side, being here the whole time, to see you guys get handed this just whatever.
Yeah.
And Xavier's got a million ideas, and you guys have a million ideas, and we're just shutting them all down. Like, not me personally, not Triple H personally, but the writers and shit are going, go out there and do this. And the power of positivity or whatever.
It was like a gospel type group.
And just no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And so when they realized no one gave a fuck, they said, fine, what do you want to do? They went out one time and did what they wanted to do instead. And it's 10 years later. Yeah. 10 years. 10 years of a faction
I can't
held
believe
together
it's been 10 years.
with minimal change to their characters for 10 years in huge matches. One of the greatest tag teams of all time.
They had a really long title reign.
Yep.
They've got
multiple title reigns.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple world
Double
champions.
Digits. Yeah.
In it now.
Mm-hmm. They're Hall of Fame.
Kofi was king of the ring. They are first ballot Hall of Fame faction. Legit one of the greatest factions of all time. And name another faction for me that had a 10-year uninterrupted run with no turmoil in the group. I'd love to know what faction it is. 10 years? I'd love to know. Not DX. Not the Horsemen. Not NWO. Not Evolution.
Road Warriors? How long were the Road Warriors?
They're not a faction. It's just a tag team. I'm talking more than two guys faction.
Well, now they're just a tag team.
Well, but this is the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Presumably, this is the end of the New Day as we know it.
Yeah.
What other faction is there that had a 10-year uninterrupted successful run? I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
Well, it depends on what you categorize it as. You know, it's
maybe I guess the Bullet Club is still around, so you could argue the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
NWO broke up. They lasted 4 years or something.
Yeah.
Evolution, same deal. But it was always intended.
It was like different versions.
It's not that it was bad. It's just DX was all over the place.
Yeah, because you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and then it was like,
and it makes sense to go. You can't have them be that faction.
Yeah,
they're the two top guys. They've got to be top guys. 100%. I get it. It's not a knock on other factions. It's just really crazy to see.
Yeah,
and it makes New Day a very specific and very special faction.
Well, they grew cute. Like there's up, down, down. Like there's
there's
not
just so
that.
much. They've had such a gigantic impact across the board on the industry, more than people realize.
I was hoping that I'm not sure where Raw was, but I was hoping that like during the promo you'd hear Big E go, "Oh, Cleveland," or whatever, like just from the backstage area.
Would have been cool. That was a particularly emotional aspect of that whole segment, was just seeing Big E, man. He was so good. Yeah. He's one of the biggest what if guys ever. He literally just
he was
got
a world champ, wasn't he?
He just got it.
Yeah.
He just got world championship. He was just beginning to be perceived as a viable main eventer.
Yeah, and then a belly suplex.
That's it.
That was brutal too.
So beat, man. And it sucks for Ridge. It was Ridge, right? Ridge Holland.
Yeah,
it did it. Sucks for him because it's not like he fucking is bad. He's not even a botch fest or anything.
Yeah,
he's otherwise good, but it was an awkward thing.
It was just like an under rotation.
Yeah. Scary, man. But end result.
Anything that goes to show you too, like anything on the outside, like there's mats there, but they're just wrestling mats. Anybody who's ever been on like a jiu-jitsu mat,
go take
or
a bump on one.
Mat, yeah,
it's cool. Go flat back, tuck your chin,
and it's on concrete.
Get your arms out. Take a flat back bump on this shit.
Yeah.
See how it feels.
Yeah. It's basically
it ain't
like
hard.
Fucking
Watch a
puzzle.
video for 5 minutes of a wrestling school breaking down how to take a flat back bump, and go do it on a wrestling mat, a blue gym mat from high school. Yeah. Go take one.
That's
See
why
how it feels.
Like I was watching Taker, or no, I was playing WWE 2K25.
Yep.
Showcase mode. I was playing Taker, Michaels, and there's a spot where Michaels. No, I think it's Taker. He does like a dive, like a front flip dive over the top rope and hits the
Are you talking about WrestleMania 25?
Yeah, he hits the cameraman or something, and that looks like a
so
bad
fucked
bump.
Up, Ben. That's such a bad bump.
And there's another spot. I forget what match it was, but
Taker's like 6'9".
Yeah,
and he takes a bump on the outside over the top rope, like on his head,
and he lands on the back of his head, basically.
Yeah. It's so bad, dude.
Yeah, and that stuff they cannot feel good.
He finishes the match after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the best,
I thought the cameraman took the brunt of that.
That guy had a bad day. Yeah, he had a bad day. That was pretty beat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Taker after the match was like, hey, cameraman, let's go. We're talking right now. And just sat him down and went, and just screamed Bloody Murder's face for 20 minutes, chewed him up and down. And then went to Vince and was like, you have to ruin his life. His life has to get ruined.
Yeah,
he has to be fired, and you have to make sure he doesn't work with a camera ever again. I'm pretty sure it wasn't even a real cameraman. I'm pretty sure it was like a indie wrestler plant. Yeah.
That's possible.
Like indie, developmental.
Well, yeah, because they would have footage.
Yeah.
Of
course
angle.
they would. Yeah, and I think they do. It doesn't mean he wasn't holding a real camera, but I think he was a guy who actually was capable of catching.
I don't think I've ever seen footage
just was out of position and didn't catch him, and he just went, okay, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, high risk maneuver. Do a suicide dive over the top rope to the outside.
Especially as big as Undertaker
when you're 6'9", fucking 300 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. And no matter what, the guy's going to catch you. Still a dice roll.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, what else happened on Raw that's major? Oh, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came back because the main event ended up being Seth versus Sammy.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
That was interesting.
I really liked that because it's like they're friends. And they know they're friends. And they're just having a disagreement about something.
Well, Sammy went out thinking that Rollins was the guy who attacked Jay backstage.
And he wasn't.
Yeah.
We're going to assume it was Drew.
This is another thing I noticed too was they do a good job. So there's storytelling in the ring, but now there's literally storytelling in the ring. So the mics are close enough where they're picking up Rollins going like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't
he's
do
on
that.
the ground and Sammy goes out and says, fuck the match.
Yeah.
I'm not here to have a match.
Sammy's going, I know it was you.
I'm going to DQ it with a chair. Yeah. I don't care if I win. I am getting you because you fucking attacked Jay. And he's almost, going, what?
They're basically doing a promo in the match.
It's amazing, dude.
It's the way they got to do this stuff now.
Yeah, so good.
I know it was you. And then...
You're talking about all the best guys.
Yeah.
In the industry right now at that, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason these guys are the top guys in WWE
because it's like, to me, like, storytelling in the ring was always using your body. But now if you can also have cameras that are picking up what happens in the ring.
And that happens. It's not like this is the first time we've ever seen that.
Right. But now they're making it very clear that they're like, pay attention to this. Like,
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was incredible.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
And I can't wait for SmackDown. It's so good right now. Mm-hmm. Everything is so good right now that they're putting out.
Yeah. And everything keeps you watching. Like I said before, I think they do a good job of like letting other talent go to other shows. Eric Bischoff showed up on NXT. Yeah. There's like they're mixing everything around. Like everything's just fucking great right now.
Which has been great because it's like Bischoff's been saying a lot of reasonable stuff about AEW based on his personal experiences, and AEW like super fans just don't want to hear it. And it's like, now that he did NXT, they will never. It's over. He's done getting to have an opinion on AEW, and he doesn't give a rat's ass, and neither do I. And I still think he's right about the stuff he says about AEW.
Yeah,
and I don't think he said anything unreasonable either. But he's going to get treated like he does, and they're going to say, "Oh, he just wants a job." Yeah, I bet he wants a job at AEW. When he can get a job at WWE instead, though.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, who cares? He doesn't
I don't know. He doesn't. He also is about to be 70, and he's done it all. He just doesn't care.
But he's also like the I don't give a fuck guy.
He's the most I don't give a fuck guy.
Yeah.
And he's the one guy who genuinely actually went head-to-head with WWE and beat them. Ever. He's the only guy ever.
Fair.
But his opinion doesn't matter, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole different thing. We don't have to go there. But seeing him come on NXT made me chuckle because I was like, well, you're going to be seeing a lot of comments of people going, see, he's a shill. He works for WWE. It's like, okay. All right.
Yeah, stupid.
Yep. That's why he's pointing out that ratings are dropping.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's like, it's happening. Everybody knows that.
We can see the ratings. And this is coming from a place like you put up that clip of us talking about how AEW is not great for the industry, right?
Yeah.
At least not right now. And the engagement we got on it was great. And a lot of people had extra stuff they brought up that I thought was totally fair. It was cool. It was cool. Good discussion in the comments.
Yeah, and I think some people also don't look at it that way, which I didn't look at it that way either.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. But I also didn't think they were competition in a way. Like some people are saying like, well, they need it because it is competition. It's like, no, it isn't competition.
It's not competition. Yeah.
They're not the same thing.
I don't know that it's even intended to be. And that's okay.
Yeah. They're like bands in different genres. You know?
And the reason I bring that up is because like, yes, I put that out and I tried to make it as clear and concise as I could. But you got to understand, it's coming from a perspective of a guy who wants AEW to be amazing. And I don't want it to be the same as WWE.
Yeah, and
I just want it to fucking draw money.
Yeah.
And get a crowd so it can continue to exist.
Build guys' careers.
Yeah, and build guys so that they are actually big stars.
And prepared to like move on to whatever.
Exactly, yeah. I don't want to see a company that has a guy like Ricky Starks and we haven't seen him and we don't know why. That's trash.
Yeah.
He's good. You know? And he's one of 1,000 guys.
Yeah, it's almost spoiling talent.
Why?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just it comes from a place of wanting AEW to just be successful.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I just feel like it's funny to me. It's funny to me the whole what's the word for it? Like the dynamics of the discussion taking place large scale of like where you see primarily WWE fans and then AEW fans and what they say from the outside and how it goes. It's just very interesting to see. It's been weird. It's been funny to watch because it's like most WWE fans I see when they talk about AEW, they try to just be fact-based and they genuinely are looking at it going, even if it's not for me, I don't want it to fail.
I don't want it to go away, right?
And AEW fans will not hear that and just go, I just don't get why you would not want another company. And everyone's going, never we'd want another company. Smarks. They've just got to be good though.
They're like, this is better than WWE. Still, even though it's clearly failing.
Is it, dude? If it is, why are their numbers plummeting? And they won't make a change. So I don't know, but
because that doesn't lie, dude. People will watch your show. If it's good.
Does not lie. Yep. Even if it's different than WWE, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter as long as it's good and it has. And here's the specific thing. Something like Lucha, right? Lucha was great, but Lucha didn't get as many views as WWE, and that's understandable. The thing is it's the accessibility to it. Once AEW, they just got this TV deal. Cool, good for them. Once they're on streaming, if their numbers don't blow up huge, because there's going to be no difference in platform. They're going to be on cable, they're going to be on streaming, they're going to be on YouTube. You're going to have all the same access that you have to WWE to AEW. If they have that and their numbers still don't get massively increased, to me, it's the most indicative sign you can have that it's not working.
Right.
You know what I mean? That they need to make a change. Because if the platform isn't the same size, I totally get that they wouldn't have as big of numbers. I totally get that. But when the platform is the same size,
yeah,
that's where I go, really? So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see for sure.
Yeah, like I said, like I don't want them to do bad. We don't want them to do bad. We want them to do good. But the problem is we know what the problems are, and they're not being addressed.
And nobody wants to hear
Even
it.
the fans don't want to address it.
And their fans want to,
and like basically,
they just don't want to address it. Yeah,
they want to just enable the fact that this is what's happening. You can only enable it for so long, you know.
But then also be like,
it's a finite.
I'm never going to watch WWE. It's like, why though?
Yeah.
What's the reason? Well, fuck Vince. Yeah, the guy that he's not there anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I agree. Fuck Vince. Vince is a dirty scumbag.
Yeah.
Bye. He's gone.
He's probably got stocks or whatever in the company, but like,
even still, he doesn't have anything to do with the calls.
Yeah. And it's obvious.
It's very obvious. Yeah. You know why it's obvious? Because it's fucking wicked good right now.
Yeah.
And it was not good when it was Vince, you know?
Yeah, it's gone way over. It surpassed any expectations I had, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's legit one of the best time periods ever in WWE history right now.
I agree with that.
Yep.
So that's it, I guess. We got covered our Survivor Series.
Covered Raw.
Yep. And that's really the main stuff. But,
it really is. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Go to w.gg, use our promo code, and you get 10%.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Later.